Hello there, Trevor here from Double Bill Movies. Well, as you can see, I'm outside. Now, you might hear other people talking and walking and whatnot, but hey, I'm in the public, so what can I do? So, first time I did one of these videos for my How Physical Media is Made, I was hoping to walk to a location, and of course I didn't find it, did I? Even though I started in one. So, this time, I'm pretty sure I found the location, so I'm going to head towards it now. Right, so where we are in How Physical Media is Made. So we finished with a very quick run through of the watch through process, which is basically where I would get given the disc and I would sit and I'd watch the content that's on there for the various issues that might occur. But that was in the QC part. As I ended that video, of course I was at Pinewood Studios. That is where I worked at a company called Testronic Labs. And we were in a building called the Eastside Complex. And we did something slightly different there. It was quality assurance. So basically, we got a finished disc, which is what you have at home. But it wouldn't have any of the artwork on it. It would just say check disc. And it would have the name of the company that pressed it for us. And we would get a pile of 10, maybe 20, so that we could do all the various different tests that Testronics did. There were many navigations, there were watch throughs, and there were compatibility testing. So let's start with the watch throughs, shall we? Like I said, we would take the check disc, we would take it into one of the linear play suites, which is basically a room with a couple of TVs in, a couple of players, and a 5.1 or a 7.1 surround sound system. Now, I'm going to pause here. Well, I just wanted to let that trio of people walk past. Anyway, so yes, we would get a disc, and obviously we'd load it up, and we'd have to sit and watch from the very beginning, i.e. the load sequence, or the trailer build, as it can be called. And we would be assigned a language to watch and subtitle streams to put up on the screen. So we'd actually have two screens where the lower screen would have another subtitle stream in it, and as long as that was in time with the main screen, then everything was good. We weren't checking for spellings or anything like that. It was literally just a timing check. All the spelling checks and correct wording and everything would be done in the QC stage, which is what I currently do in my freelance QC work. I have to check video and audio and subtitles. So anyway, yeah, so now we're on quality assurance. Like I said, all the other 3 episodes are the QC part, and you can kind of get from those 3 episodes roughly how long it takes to author a disc. Then the quality assurance part, like I said, the disc is finished essentially, and we're just double checking, making sure it's all as it's supposed to be before it goes for proper replication. And so during a linear play or a watch through, we would have a sheet, and on that sheet would be space for the title. So obviously we'd write the title, we'd write the languages that we're watching, the audio stream and the subtitles, and then we'd start. So we'd load the disc, we'd sit down, like I said, watch the trailer build. You don't skip anything, you don't scan anything. All that sort of test will be done elsewhere, in the menu navigation or the compatibility testing. So we literally just watch it like you guys do at home. But obviously at home you can skip and scan, can't you? Anyway, right, well, I think I'm getting close to the location. With this being woods, things are a bit different. But anyway, back to the linear play. So we get to the main menu, we select the audio and subtitles we need, and away we go, start the feature. So every now and again, usually at 3 points in the movie, we would do what we call a channel check, where basically I'd get up off my seat whilst the film is running and I'd go to each channel. So the front, left and right, the centre, and the surround and the subwoofers. And of course you put your ear to the speaker just to double check that there is sound coming out of there. And then also with the subwoofer, you know, you just put your hand on the cone basically and make sure it's vibrating. But we had what we called a decay meter, and this had bars that went up and down, and so there would be 6 of them. So obviously it's 5.1, so your 5 channels plus your subwoofer. And so let's head this way. I'm fairly sure I'm at the right place. If I'm not at the right place, then I'll be slightly annoyed. But I will carry on going until I do get to the right place. And yeah, so that's your channel check, and you do that 3 times in the feature. And if I remember rightly, we had to write down a subtitle or a TIFF. I forget what TIFF stands for, TIFF. And yeah, so this is starting to look more and more like where I'm hoping it's going to be. Yeah, yes, this is right. Now is there another sort of walkway? Right. Yeah. Oh, I think that's because there's a slightly different walkway. There's so many walkways through this, it's hard to tell. Now, yeah, that looks right. I'm going to turn around and do a panoramic view, and hopefully you might start to think, oh, maybe I do recognise where he is. And just trying to get the attention of the wife because she's holding the movie. So let me do a slow pan round. You'll hear all sorts of birds and things. Now clearly this won't look like it did in the film completely. One, because it's not dressed for the film, but 2, it's very grown. You know, there's a lot of greenery around. Don't know what time of the year they shot the film, but where I'm standing is from the film Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, where they had the tree houses. And so back up here you can see the ridges where all the soldiers and the Celts stood before they fired all their arrows and whatnot at yeah, it, like I said, it does look very different, but here we go. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Let's come back round this way, and you can sort of see the ledges. If I go a bit closer, the wife is trying to keep out of the way, which is fair enough. She doesn't have to be on film. I need a rear backing up beacon, don't I? Yeah, just passing the film back to my wife. And sorry about the shaky footage. Let's go up through here. Yeah, so like I said, up there is the ridge. Where the stood. Now I think over here, this mound, I won't take half the trees and stuff with me, is where Kevin Costner was on a big rope and he swung around a tree. So yes, this mound here doesn't look like much now, but I'm pretty sure those two trees. I think that's where, like I said, he got on the big rope and he took a big swing, and I can't remember if it was the rope was burning or not. But I think this way, back here, is where the tree houses were. And so yeah, that's the filming location for this episode. So just to finish off with the rest of the linear play. So we've done our channel checks, we've done our subtitle checks, and we've watched the whole feature. And then probably what we'd have to do is go and get assigned another language, take the disc, the same disc, back into the room and do it all over again. So you know, an 8-hour day could get through 4 films. I could spend the day watching one film 4 times, and if it still wasn't finished because there's, you know, 20 different languages on the disc, then of course we'd have to carry on doing it the following days. But that was quality assurance on Blu-rays and DVDs. So the next episode will be about the compatibility testing and the menu navigation testing. Well, here you go. I thought I'd give you a slightly better pan with the other camera on my phone. So there's the mound that Kevin Costner swung on, and if hopefully now you should be able to see the bank, like I said, that the soldiers and the Celts all came charging up onto. And I've actually got a photo of my wife and I stood just there, and put it up here, and then yeah, pan around, and there you go. That's where Robin Hood and all his merry men and whatnot were surrounded. So see you in the next episode. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to set your notifications to all, and take it easy.